Do you remember Columbine High School? A bunch of kids got killed, right? Got shot. And then there was all this interest in why that happened. How could that happen? And all this soul searching about what have we done wrong? What has the school done wrong? What did these parents do wrong? How can we serve these children better to help them not feel lonely or bullied and healthy and not have this terrible tragedy happen again? It was called a tragedy, wasn't it? And then the whole nation had to heal. And we were trying to learn something. Well, then a few years later, 2007, December, you may or may not remember, but it was in the news. This kid, Matthew Murray, shoots a bunch of people in Colorado Springs in a church, New Life Church. And turns out there are a couple people in the church who are armed. That's interesting. Staff people in the church who are armed. Anyway, they chase him out. He finishes whoever he's shooting and shoots himself. And it's this huge thing in the news. But guess what? It doesn't get called a tragedy. And there's not one media outlet that asks any of those questions about Columbine. Why did he do it? What's going on? What are the churches doing? What is society doing that would bring this about? No. What was he called? He was called crazy. He was called a lunatic. What did the church say about it? The church called it an attack of Satan. Seriously, attack of Satan. And then all the follow-up news in the paper and on TV was all about this poor church and how they needed to heal. This is Ted Haggard's church. Remember him? So this was the case that I was on TV about. And so when I get a chance to do my little soundbite, I mention that, yes, there are lots of people in this country that have an equal amount of rage. And no, this kid's not alone. Because Rick Sanchez, the host here, is calling this guy a crazy lunatic. And he's reading the stuff that this kid said on this website, because the reason I know this kid is because he was writing on this website calling himself Nightmare Child and talking about all these terrible things that had gone on and how much pain he was in. And the webmaster contacted me because we thought he was suicidal, not homicidal. We were scared he was going to shoot himself. So I wrote to him and asked him if he would please contact me, because I understood what he was going through and I would really like to help him, and that there was help available, and that there were other people that had been through this, and that there was a way to get through it, and please don't hurt yourself. But he says counselors haven't helped him, that they only care about money. So I don't hear about him. But then 8 months later, he goes, first of all, to this camp, YWAM, shoots a few people, and then goes to the church, shoots some more people, shoots himself. And now he's crazy, and he's a lunatic, and he's from Satan. And that's the end of story. Well, I beg to differ, so that's why I'm on there. Of course, when I said this, the host says, well, as a Christian, I disagree. And it gets interesting, of course. And then they invite me back the next night, and this time they've got a minister to debate me. So that was fun. Anyway, it is something that deserves attention, and I mentioned this before, religious trauma syndrome, because in this case it's rage. And yes, I got a lot of email, and people said, thank you. Yes, I mentioned there are thousands of walking wounded. Rage is one thing, depression is another, anxiety is another. There are lots of issues, and I'm explaining all of this on television, and somebody writes and tells me I am an agent of Satan. So that's why I guess I am.
Back there, appreciation silence for Marlene.